since 1480 KRAE Cheyenne. It's time for Wyoming Sports Talk today on KRAE. Here are your hosts, Nick and Larry Proetti.
Monday morning or Monday afternoon, Wyoming Sports Talk today. Larry Proetti along with Nick Proetti, and our program being brought to you by Mondello's Pizzeria. 778-6068 for takeout at 1507 Stillwater Avenue, Suite D of the Greenway Commons, or you can go right up to the window. Some limited outdoor patio seating available for you for the number one pizza in Wyoming, top 10 in the nation by the Food Network, folks. And again, Joe Mondello been at this now for 5 decades, so do join Joe along with his family. And again, a family of wonderful KRAE listeners that have enjoyed Mondello's Pizzeria for years and years and years. Come on by for a slice of pie or have one of their delicious hot and cold Italian subs, a steak sub, pepperoni rolls. You can do a calzone. It's all there for you at Mondello's Pizzeria, 1507 Stillwater Avenue, Suite D, the Greenway Commons, 778-6068, the telephone number, again, for takeout. First Tier Bank's right across the street at 632-3500, open Monday through Friday. Come on in and do your banking. Again, right now you're going to find some low-interest loans available. And, you know, those of you that like to do the CD things, CD rates are real low right now, but they've got some good maturity plans available for you at First Tier Bank. Lennox Auto Body, along with the Auto Glass and Detail Center, the Auto Body Shop at 1020 Dunn Avenue, and the Auto Glass and Detail Center at 617 East Pershing Boulevard, both part of the Lennox family. For over 25 years, again, taking care of our vehicle needs. And again, if you want it back almost showroom new, then you want to take it to Lennox. You don't want one of these fly-by-nighters that are in a tent around here, because when it's done by Lennox, again, you can bank on it coming back to you almost showroom new. 634-6608. B&B Appliance and TV at 714 Central Avenue. And again, on the showroom floor, you'll find Maytag, GE, Whirlpool, Frigidaire, also a great selection of televisions. Again, if you want to get your television at the box store, go for it. You know, they're not made to last. Over at B&B Appliance and TV, you're going to find top name brands that are going to hang around for a while, and that's exactly what you want. More bang for your buck from B&B Appliance and TV, where they even service what they sell. 638-6468. Medicare Pharmacy for all your pharmaceutical needs. Gene's great staff invites you to come on by over on Bluegrass Circle, right next door to Texas Roadhouse. Open Monday through Saturday. Come on in where they're practicing social distancing with your doctor's prescription, or use the convenient drive-thru if you feel it incumbent to stay in your car and do your business that way. Chick-fil-A, Windmill, and Del Range, where the peach milkshake is back for a limited time. And again, they have this delicious lemonade, mango, and other goodies that are mixed in. And again, here for a limited time, you can see Ray and Cindy and the great crew over there Monday through Saturday for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. They're open at 7 a.m., 2 convenient drive-thrus, or use the Chick-fil-A mobile curbside, where it'll be waiting for you when you get there. And again, Chick-fil-A, the home of the real chicken sandwich taste. You're going to enjoy all of your meals at Chick-fil-A. Windmill and Delrange, across from Powers Field and Menards. Platte Valley Bank, 2 locations, Vanda High, and of course the other location on the east side. You'll find them at College and Pershing. Again, if this is the summertime, as we're in late summer now, to do the home remodel, or maybe home refinance, or maybe you need an auto loan. Again, you're going to find some fantastic rates to save you a lot of bucks. Talk with Rick and the crew today at Platte Valley Bank, 778-0021. Key of Cheyenne over on Nation Way. And again, you can go online, keyofcheyenne.com, do your purchase or your leasing that way and follow all the prompts. Or, again, come on out for a test drive in the new 2021 Seltos, a Forte. You'll find an Optima. You'll find Soul, all the name brands that Kia offers. And, again, come on by to Kia of Cheyenne. Family-owned, family-operated, where A.J. Miller says, hey, we'd like to do business face-to-face, but, you know, if you want to do it online, that's, fine as well. You can get a hold of Kia of Cheyenne for more info at 775-0123. And our scoreboard is being brought to you by Taco John's of Cheyenne. I knew I was going to mess that up. I do that because I'm old and I need to retire. That's exactly what it's all about, Nick.
Again, it's kind of old yeller time for you at this point.
It is. Just take me out back and put never mind. I
don't know if the FCC will allow you to say something.
I don't want to give you any ideas either. Again, Taco John's of Cheyenne, our scoreboard sponsor, as they have 5 locations for you. Remember the Taco John's app for delivery, or you just go to the drive-thrus and you can check them out on South Greeley Highway, downtown KRAE Avenue, east of us here, Delrange and Ridge, Persian Ridge, and over on Yellowstone Road. At least I got the 5 locations right. Scoreboard time, and it's brought to you by Taco John's of Cheyenne. Here's Nick.
Want to remind folks, at least tell folks, upcoming this weekend, this Friday, we will have high school football returning back to the city of Cheyenne, at least here on 1480 KRAE, as it will be Cheyenne Central taking on Natrona County in Casper, Wyoming. That is a 7 o'clock at least kickoff time. We've got that confirmed, so about 6:30-ish pregame show here on 1480 KRAE. And it is week 0, but it is the first regular season game of the 2020 Class 4A regular season schedule. So, again, that's where we will be at up in Casper coming up this Friday. 7 o'clock is the kickoff. Again, you can hear it on 1480 AM, 101.1 FM, 1480KRAE.com, which is finally back up today, thankfully, so you can listen online. And also to video live streaming on Periscope via Twitter at Nick Wiles Sports, and also to the 1480 KRAE YouTube channel. So looking forward to that. NHL action for tonight, only 2 games on the slate. You will have Game 1 of the East second round between the New York Islanders and the Philadelphia Flyers. That's at 5 o'clock tonight on NBC Sports Network. And last but not least, also 2 on NBC Sports Network, and getting at least on about 7:45. It will be the Dallas Stars taking on the Colorado Avalanche, where the Dallas Stars lead that series right now 1-0.
Major League Baseball, they have moved to the bottom of the 6th inning in Tampa with the Rays leading the Blue Jays 3-2. Games getting underway in the 4 o'clock hour will be the Marlins at the Nationals. 5 o'clock games will have the Twins at the Indians, Cubs and the Tigers at Comerica. 6 o'clock game, the Athletics and the Rangers at Globe Life Field. It will be the Reds and the Brewers at 6:10 at Miller Park, 6:15. Royals and the Cardinals in their I-70 series at Busch Stadium. It will be the Angels and the Astros at Minute Maid. Colorado Rockies will face off with the Diamondbacks at Chase. That will be at 7:30 tonight. Right now, it's 109 degrees in downtown Phoenix. We'll move on to the National Butthead Association. Let's check out playoff action for the NBA, and a game that's going on right now. Rockets leading the Thunder 58-54. That is just about ready to go to the half. Houston leads that best-of-7 series 2-1. The Bucks have defeated the Magic 121-106. Milwaukee holds a commanding 3-1 lead in their series. Pacers and the Heat will square off at 4:30 at the ESPN Wide World of Sports Complex in Lake Buena Vista, Florida. As we look right now in that contest, Miami holds a 3-0 lead, so it's about time to say adios to the Pacers. Lakers Trailblazers, they will match up at 7 p.m. L.A. holds a 2-1 lead in their best-of-7. Our scoreboard brought to you by Pepsi. Taco John's of Cheyenne, where they sell Pepsi products.
Taco John's presents the most satisfying burrito ever. Challenge. We challenge you to find a burrito as big on flavor as the new Boss Burrito or Bowl, with over a pound of grilled chicken and cilantro lime rice. And we also challenge you to find it for less than $6. Go ahead. We'll wait. The new $6 Boss Burrito or Bowl from Taco John's. Bigger, bolder, better. Download the Taco John's app today for even more exclusive deals. Crunching!
B&B Appliance and TV has been your locally owned appliance store. Not only do we offer several major brands, we also service what we sell. And we have the largest parts department in Laramie County. Next time you're in a big box store, just ask to see their parts and service department. Then come visit the appliance experts at B&B Appliance and TV, 714 Central Avenue. Best brands, hometown service.
The action is fast, unexpected, and can come with awesome results at Wyoming Downs in the Cheyenne Plaza and inside at the Outlaw Saloon. Check out all the action today from the nation's racetracks with pari-mutuel wagering as it unfolds, or with our many different games on our machines. Remember, we are sanitizing our machines all the time for your safety according to state health guidelines. Make sure you get your Wyoming Downs Players Card, which makes you eligible for special events, promotions, and giveaways. The fun and excitement is happening every day at Wyoming Downs in the Cheyenne Plaza and on the South Greeley Highway. For more information, go to WIDowns.com.
Do you know what to do if you're stuck on the railroad crossing? Get out of your vehicle, If a train is not approaching, find the blue and white emergency notification system sign on the traffic signs at the crossing. For help, call the number on the sign and give them the crossing number so they know your location and can alert train traffic. Remember, find the blue and white to save your life. For more information, visit oli.org.
Sponsored by the Wyoming Association of Broadcasters, Wyoming Operation Lifesaver, and this station.
Chick-fil-A at Windmill and Del Range across from Powers Field is a proud sponsor of our high school and LCCC student athletes. Chick-fil-A always offers 2 convenient drive-through lanes to pick up your order if you are on the go. Plus, they have an excellent dining room for the whole family. And remember to order ahead. Use the Chick-fil-A app on your phone. Stop into Chick-fil-A today, open Monday through Saturday, where you can enjoy breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Your home for the real chicken sandwich taste. Chick-fil-A, Windmill and Del Range.
Is a refinance right for you? Rates are great. With a refinance from Platte Valley Bank, you can save money, lower your monthly payment, pay off other outstanding debt, or even shorten your loan term. Ask a Platte Valley Bank mortgage lender how a refinance could benefit you today, or start the process online at www.pvbank.com.
Platte Valley Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender. All loans subject to credit approval. Certain restrictions may apply.
Here's the latest weather forecast on 1480 KRAE.
Otherwise, for today, mostly sunny, continued hot, expected daytime high near 92, partly cloudy for tonight with our low down to 58 degrees. Tomorrow, Tuesday, mostly sunny and hot. Once again, we're expecting a daytime high near 92. Isolated showers and thunderstorms to develop in the afternoon. Isolated showers and thunder boomers during the evening before midnight, otherwise partly cloudy or low down to 60. And for Wednesday, mostly sunny, look for a daytime high of 89 degrees.
When it comes to sports talk in Cheyenne, it's a whole new ballgame. Let's play ball! You're listening to Wyoming Sports Talk today, and it's only here on AM 1480 KRAE.
Wyoming Sports Talk today. Larry Parlotti along with Nick Parlotti. Nick back after his trip to Florida.
Much needed trip.
Did you go to Lake Buena Vista since you
I drove by it, but I'm not going to. I did not do anything sport related on this vacation other than seeing Daytona International Speedway from afar. But other than that, though, it was pretty much beach time, Universal Studios, go see Cape Canaveral and NASA and all that fun stuff. So it was pretty much of a week-long, no sports, no nothing, got away from everything, and then Saturday come back to what it seemed like. It seems like returning to hell almost out in this part of the world with the smoke and everything, where, again, leaving on Tuesday morning, it was clear skies, blue skies, going down to Denver, getting out, and then return to smoke, haze.
You got 4 fires going on in Colorado.
There's a fire apparently down, by the port of entry as well too here. So,
but that was minor compared to what you got square mileage in fires right now in Colorado. That's what's pretty much getting our skies all hazy right now. The California stuff, luckily, hasn't blown this way. Looking at Major League Baseball, which. Sorry, I haven't been at all even checked in on.
The only thing I've been checked on for about a couple weeks now, or at least, again, baseball right now, it still feels like it's spring training for whatever reason.
I got the standings here, but...
Well, and again, the standings are interesting, especially where a week or so ago we were talking about the Colorado Rockies being one of the best teams early on and now kind of fallen to graces now. They're sub 500, but again, they're running into, go figure, bullpen issue as they've had for, 3-4 for the entire franchise's history at this point in time. But anyways, going back to regarding baseball and just sports in general right now, NHL has taken my kind of focus. I've been enjoying the NHL playoffs. Also do have the rooting interest of the Vegas Golden Knights, who are doing phenomenal right now out there in the Western Conference. But baseball right now, to me, even though Giants have been surging, they're on a win streak, about six games right now. They're moving up, but they're still trailing Dodgers and the Padres, who are, again,
Padres are the hottest team in baseball right now. Yeah. They got a win streak of 7. It's ironic that you mentioned how the Rockies have fallen on hard times. First off, with the Rockies, Charlie Blackmon's still hitting over 400. He's hitting 405. I mean, that's, again, in 111 at-bats, the guy has got 45 hits. So, you tip your cap to him in 28 games. So in a 60-game season, even if he does hit the 400 mark, it's not going to put him up there with the likes of Ted Williams.
It comes with also to a bit of an asterisk as well, too.
But, again, like you said, I don't want to use the word of glorified spring training, but you're right. I mean, they're 28 games into the season right now, and you look at the standings as of today, and it's like, it
doesn't feel like the Giants are in a playoff race right now or a hunt for a wild card, even though they technically are. They're right behind the Miami Marlins of what they've been doing. But
maybe if they kneel and think about it, they'll probably come up.
That really has kind of gone away.
All right, look, the Dodgers. Let's go to the West right now. The Dodgers are 22-8. No surprise. This is probably the best team in Major League Baseball.
We say that year in and year out about the Dodgers, and again, their goal, or at least for the Dodgers at this point in time, it's win a championship or bust every single season. So that's kind of the question right now, where they're guaranteed to make the playoffs. How far they'll advance, who knows at this point in time. Their focus is the championship, and that's all it kind of matters.
It's interesting you said that, because
it looks like our guest is calling us as well too right now.
Well, we'll come back to this after. We'll come back to the Dodgers and let's get into our guest right now. Let's answer the phone line and say good afternoon. Welcome to Wyoming Sports Talk today. We bring on Chuck Heeman, Western Nebraska Pioneers owner. Chuck, how are you doing this afternoon?
I am so sorry.
No, don't apologize.
Late. We had a family thing going on here in Casper, and I, it's the family. So
yeah,
there you are.
Don't worry about it.
I'm sorry for being late, but I am here.
Okay. Well, Chuck, again, on behalf of Nick and myself, we want to say thank you again for the hospitality when we went up there and watched the Pioneers play. It was nice to see the crowds, and they respected the social distancing, and you had things all cordoned off the way it should be. Did restrictions relax a little bit during the course of the season, or did you pretty much stay with that same route throughout the Pioneer season?
Well, as far as the seating areas, it pretty much stayed the same. There were some little things that we were able to adjust during the season, as far as what we were able to do in concessions and things like that. But as far as the distancing inside the stands, pretty much stayed the same throughout the season. Nebraska never really came out of their phase 3. They had some outbreaks in other parts of the state, and it was in Nebraska. It's pretty much statewide. There are some states where they go county by county, but basically whatever the state says, that's what the Panhandle did too. So as far as seating, it pretty much stayed the same. And people were, especially in our reserve seats. You guys, you were there. You saw we had to basically block off half of our reserve seats, which means half of our season ticket holders couldn't use their seats. But people were pretty respectful. I think we're a few months into this thing nationwide, and I think people really kind of are getting used to what they have to do to be able to go out and at least attempt to be safe. The crowds there, they grew a little bit as the season went on. We had some expanded seating areas out in the lawn. We ended up leading the league in attendance. With our attendance was still down probably about 35% for the year because of the restrictions. But it was pretty amazing for all of us in the Expedition League. I mean, we made it through the year. They had a little hiccup in Pierre at the end of the year, but we all made it through without that. It was. I tell people I've been doing this for 30 years, and it was the most nerve-wracking season I've ever been through because, every single time I'd get an email alert or a text alert or a phone call, it's like, oh, is this the one? Is this the one where someone's got it? And then what do we do? But we were very fortunate to get through our entire season, and nobody from our team got sick. None of our fans that I know of got sick. We've not had any feedback on that. All of our players got tested on the way out of town. They all came back negative. I got tested myself twice, came back negative. So very, very lucky to get the season in.
What was the testing process? As we've heard on the pro side, collegiate, where, again, it kind of fluctuates, where it's a daily thing or it could be a weekly thing. Again, just kind of walk us through what was the kind of testing protocol for the Western Nebraska Pioneers, whether it was playing at home there in Garion or traveling on the road throughout the entire Expedition League.
Yeah, there's Nebraska has a statewide site called testnebraska.gov or .org, And you can go on there if you. What they told us was the first thing you look for is temperature. If somebody has a fever. So our trainer Doug Jones, when the staff, all of us, even the full-time staff, the interns, the concession staff, the visiting teams, our team, whenever they all came through the stadium in one entrance, and Doug stood there with a forehead thermometer, took everybody's temperature. I think we had one player from Hastings during the season that had a little bit of a temperature, so we sent him back to the hotel, and turned out not to be anything because we sent him to get tested right away. But that was it. So that's the first step, and then once you see that, you look for symptoms. But the Test Nebraska site, if somebody felt like they needed to be tested, you go on that site. They would ask you a series of questions, and then schedule you for a test, usually the next day. So on the way in, our players who felt they needed it did that, and then on the way out, the Monday after our final home game, we asked that all of our players on that Sunday take that, go to that website, take that test, and they tell you if you need to have the test taken. It's things like just basic questions. Are you dizzy? Do you have headaches? Do you have these symptoms? And so the players that felt like they needed to got their test done that next Monday, and it's like a 2-day wait period there. So they all came back negative. I did the same thing, and then I went and got an actual instant test at another place, and both those came back negative. So it was really monitoring what the symptoms that these guys showed, and we just got lucky that it was very few blips on the radar that way.
Chuck, is this? I don't want to use the word the wave of the future, but let's hope that miracle cure is out there. But is this something that the league will probably keep in play, even looking ahead towards next season, on the testing part?
I think we're going to have to. I mean, I think we have to, keep that in our pocket if we're going to need it. Nobody knows. This thing just doesn't seem to be getting better. It just doesn't. And so, you're looking at all the colleges, and everybody knows what they're doing, pushing things back or not playing at all, and all that stuff. So we have no idea what it's going to look like next summer. So we basically will keep communicating with our, in Nebraska, it's the Panhandle Health Department. In Casper, it's in the Trona County Health Department. You keep communicating with those people, and they'll give you the latest guidelines. Whatever those are, we'll follow them.
So, Chuck,
we're glad to do it.
So, Chuck, at least regarding this season, as we look back, and again, we've already had a champion crown. I do believe the Fremont Moo are your 2020 Expedition League champions. But for Western Nebraska and in that community out there in Gary, Nebraska, Scottsbluff as well, too, and just communities in general that actually got to participate and see collegiate baseball this summertime, as abbreviated as it was, how crucial was it for Gary, for Scottsbluff, for those communities to have Expedition League baseball, for fans to go out and get away from the madness of the world that is happening here in 2020, and also too, same with at least the collegiate players, as you alluded to. We're seeing a lot of colleges basically say, hey, springtime, summertime, now fall time athletics, hey, we're canceling, they're done. How crucial was it, just in a generalized spectrum, for everyone that, hey, we got the season underway, no hiccups were found, and we crowned a champion as well too?
I think it was really, really important that, and back in June when the entire league was kind of basically taking a roll call of who can play, who, shouldn't play, who simply cannot do it because of restrictions, that was the thing. If we can do it, then we should do it. There's a lot of guidelines we had to follow, even before, throughout, and even after with the testing. But we all felt like, if we can do it, then we should do it. It is important to the communities to show that, life does go on to some extent. Everybody's not holed up in a corner sucking their thumb, waiting for this thing to hit them. And then you found some things as the summer went on that kind of opened up a little bit. Even in Wyoming, where they had canceled everything, which led to us canceling the Horsehead season, they opened up some things. Cody had their rodeo. There were some things that opened up. Nebraska, the National Balloon Festival was coming to Gering, and that had to cancel, but they did still have the traditional one that they have. So when at first they thought they weren't going to be able to do anything, some of those things kind of opened up. So I think having Expedition League baseball in the communities that we did kind of, showed people that, yes, there are restrictions you have to follow, and we will follow those, and we will ask that you follow those.
Chuck,
within those restrictions, we're still able to do this.
Chuck, getting back to Casper, since you are the owner of the Casper Horseheads, I'm not going to get into the politics of what goes on with other teams up there, but we saw with the Legion programs throughout the state, we saw with the fast pitch programs throughout the state, everybody seemed to have a successful year across the Cowboy State. So that has to at least put a smile on your face somewhat that the Horseheads should be able to be back in operation next season.
Yeah, very much so. We're already deep into planning for 2021. The reason that we couldn't play wasn't because we couldn't physically play. It's because the restrictions were such that we couldn't get enough people in the ballpark to do it. When we could only get 250 people in the ballpark, well, then you take away the two teams, the concessions workers, the press box people. We weren't going to be able to get enough people to come to a game to make it, economically viable. It would have bankrupted us, and we'd never be back. So the smart move was not to do that. But it was very encouraging to see that, even though Legion baseball was not officially sanctioned this year, most of the organizations were able to get teams together, play each other, pretty much mostly within the state. And most of them, I believe, they all got through their seasons. They crowned the champion. So just the physically being able to get out there, and I know they all had restrictions on who could come to the games and things like that, but they got through it, and that was very encouraging for us moving forward.
Yeah, again, the American Legion here in the state of Wyoming, Cheyenne Post 6 are your 2020 champions, as we've talked plenty about that. But keeping on that same topic, where, again, regarding the Casper Horseheads and the controversy early on, where, again, as your team was dormant for the 2020 season, again, controversy came out of the Oil City from Casper that the American Legion programs kind of shifted you guys on out of Mike Lansing Field, told you guys, hey, to pack things up and kind of put it in storage, so to speak. Regarding 2021, if the Casper Horseheads are to return, or again, as we are hopeful that they will up there in Casper, Wyoming, is Mike Lansing Field still a viable option, or is it something that now Casper has to look for a new venue to kind of play Expedition League baseball?
We won't have to look for a new venue. The situation with the lease, as far as our relationship with the Legion, I think we've said all we need to say on that. We won't do that. But the lease that the Legion has with the city itself expires at the end of this calendar year. So there's the opportunity for all of us to kind of revamp this whole thing and find a way to work together, going forward. But yeah, we'll play at Mike Lansing Field. There's a way to do it. We've had procedural talks with the city. We've not gotten into lease negotiations at all. But as far as expressing our wanting to be at Mike Lansing Field, I know the Legion program is also undergoing some changes, and that's internal with them. But we will find a way to work together moving forward. This year was a mess for everybody. It just was. And like I said, we've said all we need to say on that. But very confident that between all of the entities that want to play at Mike Lansing, we'll be able to move forward with the city's guidance and find a way to do it.
Aside from the testing of the players, some of the takeaways, because obviously, these guys all ended up going back elsewhere, and in some cases the places that you might be under more restrictions than we are out in this part of the world. But some of the takeaways that you got from your players as they departed after the season.
Well, they were, most of them were thankful that they got to play somewhere. There was so... even the Northwoods League, who has 22 teams, I think they only had 5 or 6 operating, and they had to do it in pods where they were playing out of one place. I think that, we got a lot of positive feedback about that we were able to have at least somewhat of a normal season, even though we only had 6 teams, and we saw a lot of the Hastings Sodbusters and a lot of the Pure Trappers. So, but we got to play. Whereas so many of their teammates, their college teammates that were going to other leagues, just didn't even get to play at all. And we made it through the season, and so I think the overwhelming thought was that, thank goodness we're able to at least do this, whereas so many people weren't.
So as we call
the fans felt the same way. At the end of the year, we had such positive feedback about just being able to do this, where so many places aren't.
Yeah, without a doubt. Again, it's phenomenal of at least having baseball, as I kind of alluded to early on, of saying, hey, it's something to take your mind off of what's happening in the world, to kind of go and enjoy and have a little summertime fun out in the Panhandle there in Nebraska, or at least throughout the kind of Rocky Mountain region, or at least the High Plains out here with the Expedition League. Now, with the season wrapped up here, again, the wackiness that was 2020, again, as I mentioned, Fremont Moo, champions of the Expedition League. Now what happens, Chuck? What's kind of the next step right now as we head into the off season for you, for Western Nebraska, for Casper Horseheads, or the Expedition League as a whole?
Well, we're already deep into recruiting. We have our coach Ryan Sayers. He got a promotion to Biola University in California, and his job there is such that he can't coach summer ball because he's in charge of their summer camps there. So he's going to be there. So we named Antonio Garcia, who was actually a former player with us and was an assistant coach for half the year. And he's a grad assistant at the University of Kansas. So he's our new coach. And between he and I, we're already deep into recruiting the roster for next year. J.M. Kelly is our coach in Casper. We had committed to him for this season, and he ended up coaching Hastings for about 2/3 of the season because their coach had left, so he's already got some Expedition League experience. So he'll be our coach in 2021. He's already deep into recruiting. It used to be that, Myra and I have been doing this for a really long time. It used to be that you wouldn't even worry about recruiting until like Thanksgiving, when fall ball was over at these colleges. But now there's so many teams and so many leagues that are getting in line for players. You got to start recruiting before your season's even over. You got to start contacting these teams. So, we're deep into that. It'll be a while before we have a schedule. We're going to have to, we're very confident all 10 of our teams will be back, and there may even be a couple additions. So we need to settle that. But our schedule it usually comes out around the first of the year. That's probably what'll happen. But as far as what we're doing, now it's all, thanking our host families and our season ticket holders and our fans, and maybe taking a little bit of a break here so we can breathe, because, like I said, this is the most stressful season I've ever had in 30 years of doing this, and you kind of need a mental breather. So we'll dive into contacting those people, right after Labor Day weekend. But this is a year-round business, and the planning never ends. So, yeah, we're all getting ready for 2021. Fremont Moo won it. Good for them. We'll win it next year, and they can just not like that.
Well, I was gonna say, Chuck, you don't have a whole lot of time. Again, this will be my final thought, and also too a chance for you to kind of plug this new thing that's coming to Western Nebraska. But you also too recently announced it, at least Western Nebraska Pioneers, on social medias. But again, coming up September 25th, I do believe, a new basketball venture out there in Gering, Nebraska, or at least in Western Nebraska, called Hoop It Up, of a 3-on-3 basketball league. Talk a little bit about that and what that kind of entails for the Panhandle out there in Nebraska.
Well, it's kind of a neat thing, and it kind of goes back to back when I was actually able to do anything physically instead of being a wreck like I am now. I lived in Dallas, and I played. The Hoop It Up is a national brand of 3-on-3 tournaments. What they would do in the 80s and 90s, they would take these massive tours and go from town to town. I played when I lived in Dallas, and I remembered it. It popped up on the radar sometime during the summer that they were starting it up, and not to the level of that, but it's basically 3-on-3 basketball. We will play at the Carpenter Center in Gering, and it's very, very compared to the Pioneers, it's very, very low-key operation. I equate it to a softball league. You get your buddies together. A 3-on-3 basketball game is 20 minutes, or first team to 20. So you play two games a night. It's basically like a softball league. It's not, no one's turning pro out of the 3-on-3 league. What I see as kind of our market there is high school players and junior college players that want to get in shape for the season. We're going to run a tournament in September, and then we're going to have a 7-week league that butts right up against when high school and college basketball starts, or hopefully starts, with all this COVID going on. So it's there's 4 divisions: two boys, 2 girls, 2 men's, 2 women's, or for 5 teams for 5 people for team, 4 teams per division. So really not, we're not looking for 30,000 people to partake in this, but we're dipping our toe into this thing, and And a lot of it is to kind of keep our name out there in the off season, and give us something to do where we can, have something for the community to actually participate in. You can't play for the Pioneers, but you can come out and do this and have some fun. So, if you look at our website, the WNPioneers.com website, all the information is there. We're taking registrations now. We'll start this in about a month, and it's something that I'm real familiar with. So this came along. The investment wasn't very big, and I think that it's something that'll be fun for us to do in the off season. And then as we kind of grow this thing, obviously we hope it expands into older adults, co-ed, things like that. There's an operation that does this down outside of Denver, and I kind of follow what they do, and they've given me a lot of guidance, and they've really grown this thing into a monster. And I don't think we'll get to that point, but as far as how to do it and how to do it well, they've given me a lot of guidance. And kind of down the road, when the COVID restrictions lighten up a little bit, we'll do the same thing in Casper. We've already got it set up, but the venues are kind of telling us maybe we wait a little bit, because we don't know what's going to go on with the COVID. In Nebraska, it's going to be outdoors while we've still got some good fall weather, so the restrictions are a little bit lighter. They're more in the equipment area than the venue. So we feel like this is going to be a fun thing to do. Again, it's not something where we need 30,000 people from the Panhandle to join in. And once people see what it is, I think it'll grow into something fun for people to do.
Well, Chuck, we want to thank you again for joining us on Wyoming Sports Talk today. And again, as you said, a stressful season, but hey, you guys pulled it off, and hopefully things will be a hell of a lot better for next season.
I'm telling you, it's weird because now I'm not dreading every time the phone buzzes. So,
if it buzzes, it's from us wanting you on the show. That's for sure.
Yeah, and I'm outside helping the family.
All righty.
I'm so sorry for being late on that, but guys, I really appreciate the time as always. And anytime, I can talk for an hour if you need me to. So anytime you want me on, and I'm glad to do it.
All right, sounds good. Thank you so much, Chuck Heeman, joining us on Wyoming Sports Talk today. Western Nebraska Pioneers owner, recapping an interesting season for the Pioneers, not so much on the field, but things that were leading up to it and during the season as well. So, again, congratulations to the Western Nebraska Pioneers pulling it off this year and getting in their schedule without any problems. We'll take a timeout. We'll be right back.
Are you looking for a pharmacist who will actually take the time to talk to you? Then come to Medicap Pharmacy. We're dedicated to healthcare only, which means we'll fill your prescription quickly. And then we'll make time to listen, answer your questions, explain your prescriptions, and tell you about possible drug interactions.
Medicap Pharmacy, we'll always make time for you.
Medicap Pharmacy, 1947 Bluegrass Circle, next to Texas Roadhouse in Cheyenne. Or call 635-3712.
Cheyenne Urological has been the cornerstone of urinary care to Cheyenne and its surrounding communities for over 30 years. With their fine expert doctors, along with their highly trained staff, they will provide top quality treatment for prostate cancer, urinary tract infections, kidney stones, impotence, and incontinence. Cheyenne Urological is now offering cutting-edge robotic surgery. So call Cheyenne Urological at 635-4131 for compassionate expert urinary care. That's 635-4131.
You get everything you want with the new 2020 Kia Forte. AJ Miller here for Kia of Cheyenne. And this sport compact sedan has advanced technology, sleek styling, awesome connectivity, and plenty of space for passengers. The new GT line provides an available 201 horsepower turbocharged engine for responsive acceleration, quick shifting, and even more fun at the wheel. See the Forte today at Kia of Cheyenne. Call 775-0123 or go to KiaofCheyenne.com. We'll make it easy.
Authentic Italian. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think made fresh from scratch. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think great pizza, delicious Philly cheesesteak, superb hot and cold Italian sandwiches, meatballs, sausage, and special subs, calzones, crisp salads, and great service. When you say Mondello's Pizzeria, think unmatched Italian taste. Mondello's Pizzeria at 1507 Stillwater Avenue, your only true Italian stop for lunch or dinner.
Check out the huge savings this week at Town & Country Supermarket Liquors. Here are just a few of the terrific weekly specials. Our Super Radio buys, heard only right here, features Svedka Vodka, 1.75-liter bottle, $14.99. Pabst Blue Ribbon, 24-pack, 12-ounce can, $16.99. And Jim Beam Bourbon Whiskey, 1.75-liter bottle, $24.99. Town and Country Supermarket Liquors on the South Greeley Highway, Cheyenne's low-price leader. At First Tier Bank, we are proud to be a member of this great community and will always support all of our high school athletes. First Tier Bank takes great pride in sponsoring the live broadcast of the games and would like to wish all of our teams good luck. We share the credo with Newt Rockney when he said, "One man practicing sportsmanship is far better than 100 teaching it." It's all about the high school sports at First Tier Bank, 1508 Stillwater Avenue, Cheyenne.
The next time you have a craving for authentic Mexican cuisine, visit Hacienda Guadalajara at 317 East Lincoln Way. Locally owned and operated, they serve their dishes with family tried and true recipes, with the freshest of ingredients, made to order. Start off your meal with their complimentary chips, salsa, and bean dip. And if you're feeling adventurous, enjoy your favorite margarita or cerveza. Hacienda Guadalajara, where the spice is always nice.
If it happens on the diamond, the hardwood, the field, or even the ice, we'll talk about it on Wyoming Sports Talk today. Hi, this is Nick Peretti inviting you to join Larry Peretti and myself each weekday from 3 to 5 p.m. as we, along with our special guests, talk sports locally, regionally, and nationally. And you can chat with us too at 307-514-1071. It's Wyoming Sports Talk today only on 1480 KRAE, and you can stream live with us at 1480krae.com.
Here's the latest weather forecast on 1480 KRAE.
Otherwise, for today, mostly sunny, continued hot, expected daytime high near 92, partly cloudy for tonight with our low down to 58 degrees. Tomorrow, Tuesday, mostly sunny and hot. Once again, we're expecting a daytime high near 92. Isolated showers and thunderstorms to develop in the afternoon. Isolated showers and thunder boomers during the evening before midnight, otherwise partly cloudy or low down to 60. And for Wednesday, mostly sunny, look for a daytime high of 89 degrees.
Tired of lazy and predictable sports talk radio? We know you are. This is Cheyenne's new sports radio home. It's Wyoming Sports Talk Today, and it's right here on AM 1480 KRAE.
Welcome back to Wyoming Sports Talk today. Larry Peretti along with Nick Peretti. And again, thank you to Chuck Heeman, Western Nebraska Pioneers owner, for joining us. I want to go back to the majors where we were talking about prior to Chuck calling in. And you were talking about the Dodgers, who are leading the NL West right now. And again, talented group of ball players that probably are going to be in the fold for a while under Dave Roberts.
Yeah,
you know, the Cody Bellingers of the world.
They've been in the fold for a while.
But it's interesting.
Even before.
It's interesting. And they haven't got a World Series championship in a while. Then you look at
which who cares? Well, again,
no, but what I'm driving at, then you go over to the AL West, where Oakland and Billy Beane, year in, year out, builds a winner. And what Billy Beane does,
not year in, year out. They've had their struggles
for the most part. Let's just say for the last few years, they've been playoff bound. It's like it's a team built for 162 games, and then they just peter out in the playoffs. I mean, you sit here and you look at the names. Again, like I said, you look at a Cody Bellinger and you look at a Kiki Hernandez. I can go right.
They're not household names.
Yeah,
again.
But you look at Mike Fiers. All right, let me just finish. You look at Mike Fiers. And then you look at, I'll pick out Matt Chapman and Matt Olson. Olson only hitting $170. But do you expect those guys to be around? Not much longer. Billy Beane usually parts company with these guys. They get big, and then they're gone. Where at Dodger Stadium, they hang around for a while.
And again, there's not a guarantee with that because the A's are under new ownership, or again, the ownership with Caval out there who owns the A's and also two of the San Jose Earthquakes out of the MLS.
But they're still one of the lowest payroll teams.
They are, but again, this is an ownership group that is committed to upgrading, to investing money back into the Oakland A's, where, again, they're still pushing on getting out of the Coliseum, upgrading into a new, at least facility out there in Jack London Square in Oakland, California. They've committed to stay in the city of Oakland, but again, they're just getting the pushback from the city council out there, but it's not the A's of old where, yes, they have to fire sale because they can't afford. Well, it seems like with this ownership group, they have money, but they're kind of sticking to that Billy Beane style of ball of saying, all right, let's be conservative, but if we need to hold on and pay someone, we can. They've done it, but
they're not out of the one thing about the A's, and again, if you watch the movie Moneyball, and you can appreciate that, Billy Beane doesn't go out and spend stupid money. He wants to. Matter of fact,
you go off of what you've seen even the past couple of years, where with Bryce Harper of how much money he got from the Philadelphia Phillies. Again, he's still a good player, but he's not what the Phillies kind of wanted out of him.
Oh, by the way, they're in last place in the East right now.
Yeah.
So.
Again, you look at with Machado down in San Diego. Again, I never thought he was worth the money. The Padres did. Padres, again, they're
contenders.
They're contenders this year, and we'll see what happens with the Padres. Are they winning a championship anytime soon? No.
But they're also Machado's also surrounded like Tatis. There's a lot of young talent on there.
They got building blocks around him, but again, Machado is not that superstar player who deserved all that money, who kind of elevated the Padres. No, he's on the same playing field as the rest of that Padres team that is playing very well, but he's not that extra boost to elevate them past the Dodgers for an NL West title here in 2020 or even possibly 2021. So, again, it's more so, for Billy Beane and other ownerships or other GMs around the league, you kind of look at what is happening with some of these big-time contracts where these players really aren't playing to the level of what that money's kind of entail of saying, well, you are kind of Babe Ruth-esque that deserves this kind of big-time money that's going to be the face of our franchise. Well, so far it has not kind of been like that of what we've seen. Again, Giancarlo Stanton, same with the New York Yankees. He was big-time in Miami. Now with the New York Yankees, he's decent. He's
but he
good.
Can't stay healthy.
Yeah,
that's his problem. And now you're starting to see Aaron Judge go to the injured list too. So again, these big guys that want all this cash, well, you can't get them on the field for 162 games. During a regular season.
You're not getting 162 this year,
even 60 games. Well, anyway, so going back to the pennant races, as we didn't get a chance to finish it out. So the Dodgers are leading the West. They got the Padres on their heels at about 4 games off the pace. San Francisco's 8. Rockies are 8, and the Diamondbacks are 8.5 back. So for the Padres,
and Giants, who are anticipated to be one of the worst teams in the NL right now, are surging.
San Francisco's got a outside shot at the playoffs. Isn't it 6 teams this year, if I'm not mistaken?
I have no idea.
I think it's the division winners and 3 wild cards. Then you have in the Central, Cubs. No surprise. A lot of that's done by pitching. They're leading right now. It's good to see St. Louis is playing. St. Louis is 1 game above 500.
The upsetting thing regarding the St. Louis Cardinals, especially as a Giants fan, and seeing the wild card, which, again, the wild card is in play right now, but especially with the standings. But, again, where St. Louis, even though they play lesser games than the Giants and the rest of the league, still have a better winning percentage, so that puts them above or at least higher up in the wild card standings.
But they also got to make those games up, though. It looks at the end of the season.
And we'll see. We'll see what happens because, again, there's not a guarantee that they will, and we'll see how MLB deals with that because it seems like it's not as commonplace now as we're getting into the crux of the season of MLB where as early on where we were seeing teams left and right just get knocked out of games. Right. But who knows later down the road where who knows?
Yeah, I mean the Giants. If you're going to
could St. Louis run into that same situation as they're at least in a playoff run in a wild card that have already missed games, they might miss more games at the tail end of the season that other teams that they'll eventually face now kind of get that COVID outbreak. Who knows?
It seems like the West has been able to play. I mean, everybody's averaging about 30 games.
Yeah, both the American League and the NL have been
the West and
they've been untouched.
So in the Central, you got the Cubs leading the Cardinals. Cardinals have only played 17 games as compared to the Cubs. They've played 27. Reds, Brewers, Pirates. Again, like you said, it's almost like a glorified spring training for them. The Braves holding on. The Marlins have really fallen on tough times as of late.
As everyone kind of anticipated, where they had a surge after coming out of the COVID-19 outbreak, but they've kind of fallen back to reality of saying, yeah, you're not a good franchise. You're not a good team.
The Braves were expected to do well this year, but the Marlins, Mets, Nationals, and Phillies, nothing. Yeah. I mean, they're 11-11, 12-14.
Again, whoever comes out of the West, or at least
it could be 3 teams out of the West.
Without a doubt. But I'm just saying, whoever takes that crown, and again, it will be an NL West team. I think it's just pretty much up to, will it be San Diego, will it be LA? That's going to be your team that is going to be your National League representative. I don't think that any of those teams will have an issue against the Cubs, will have an issue against the Braves. Right now, NL West, as much as they're beating up on each other, I still think you got the best baseball right now in the National League West.
And over in the American League, in the West, the Athletics have marched out to a 4.5 game lead over Houston. Houston's, they got healthy against the Rockies, and they've lost their last 3. See, that's just it. When you lose 3, 4, 5 games in a row, Texas has lost their last 8 in a row. You might as well stick a fork in the season.
And again, the losses, and again, even the win streaks for instance, for the Giants or the Padres. Again, you talk about the losing streaks. Again, they're magnified with what the season is. Where again, a 3-game losing streak in a 162 game schedule,
no big deal.
It's not a killer thing to your playoff run. But here, you pretty much magnify that by 3, 4, 5 times, and now where you have potentially 20 some odd games remaining of your schedule, and now you're 4 games behind. It becomes that kind of dire strait of where you can't afford anything like that. But yeah, the A's have really surged up. Not a surprise. The A's were anticipated to be up there with the Houston Astros. Astros have kind of fallen down to grace. They've run into a bit of injury bug, or at least they've run into some issues, especially on the pitching side. But we'll see what happens with Houston.
Seattle, they're 11-19, and again, Seattle has more issues to worry about than baseball, to be real candid, but with all of the strife that they've had there. It's amazing. The towns that have had the political strife, and it's kind of weird because Los Angeles had its problems. Obviously Seattle. How about the Minnesota Twins? Minnesota, basically, their downtown area was basically burned to the ground. Twins at Target Field.
I don't know about that. I was just there.
Millions of dollars, actually.
The downtown is still standing. And you're making it sound like it's an apocalypse, but it was.
I didn't say it was. There was a lot of stores.
Target Field was untouched.
There was a lot of stores that were were looted. Anyway, the Twins, through all that strife, they're leading the Central. They're 19-10. Cleveland 17-11. The White Sox have been more of the surprise team than any baseball team here in this.
Not necessarily. White Sox were anticipated to be. They're that team that every year you go into it thinking that they've improved things and they're on the upswing. Well, this was the year that they finally, those moves, and again, they made a lot of big offseason moves. They're paying off. Even though it is an abbreviated, wacky season, but for the White Sox, hey, it's not that surprising compared to what Miami was doing, or Rockies being at least top of the league. They're about a couple weeks back. It's not that surprising. Again, if what you look what they did in the offseason, of what the moves and how they added, it's paying off, and it's not surprising.
All right, Detroit 11-15, Kansas City 11-17. So, not really shocked by all of that. Then you move over to the East, where I'm not surprised with Tampa. Tampa's, again, they're kind of the Oakland A's of the AL East.
Yeah. And they go through their ups and downs, and they're on the upswing.
And they've got good pitching. Yeah. They got no major superstars, but didn't they take 2 out of 3 from the Yanks or something like that? Let's see. Yankees are 16-9. I think they did not play yesterday with the Mets. That one was postponed and no makeup date available. Let's see. Toronto at the Mendoza line with their games in Buffalo. Baltimore 14-14, and the Red Sox. That's probably more of the disappointment for Red Sox fans. They're 9-20 here in this abbreviated season.
But at this point in time, it's how many people are watching, or at least fully in tune to Major League Baseball right now. Where again, you're in the thick of NBA playoffs and NHL playoffs that have. At least for me, NHL playoffs have been more exciting than what you're seeing right now in the NBA. Granted, the NBA's had its moments, but also, too, I don't know, the NHL right now, of what they've been doing as a league. And
I think the Stanley Cup right now has more, I hate to use the word prestige, but it seems like it has more vigor for an audience to watch. Because, again, you got the top teams in the Stanley Cup. I mean, you look
you
at
got the top teams right now in NBA, but
you know what?
Again,
you got Boston.
Lakers are still there. Boston just swept, at least took care of the 76ers.
The NBA basically, I don't say put themselves out of business. They put themselves into trouble. Hockey, I think hockey was kind of that go-to. I'm not keen on baseball. NBA's too political. Hockey's been okay, and then all of a sudden, our area has the Avalanche in there. How about the Dallas Stars are moving on to the next round? Vegas Golden Knights, they're a pretty good outfit. Then you got the Tampas and the Bostons. You got traditional teams that are in the playoffs. But again, they're chasing after Lord Stanley's Cup, and that is a big deal for the National Hockey League going for the Stanley Cup. NBA championship kind of at least the NHL got most of its season done.
But for whatever reason, to me, of the playoffs between the NHL and NBA, there's some sense of normalcy, or it feels.
It feels right.
It feels right with the NHL compared to the NBA. And again, this is also too coming from a Golden State Warriors fan, where the team kind of fell off graces, and now you're looking at two LA teams in there, and there isn't really that clear favorite, or at least that those kind of teams that you kind of root on, at least have a rooting interest.
Well, you have to, and not so much root on, but the defending NBA champions still in the playoff round. And that's Toronto.
Yeah, Toronto, who took care of business pretty easily, and we'll get more into that as we're at the top of the hour, because also too, Utah Jazz taking care of business in their first round against the Denver Nuggets, which I'll say not surprising. Utah Jazz, along with the Phoenix Suns, even though they got exited out, Utah Jazz were one of the hottest teams.
Well, we said that
entering in, and what they're doing to the Nuggets is not surprising.
Well, when we said that even before the season got started, we said, "Hey, this team's in a very improved team."
Yeah.
And where were they? They're about a 4 or 5 slot. And it's like,
well, they're 6 seed right now, taking on a 3 seed Denver team. And again, I think Utah they're going to wrap up that series without a doubt. They're going to move on, and Denver. For whatever reason, Nuggets are kind of stuck in that fluctuation point where they were a few years ago with George Karl of you make it to the playoffs, but how far you advance, it's kind of up in the air.
Sounds like the Oakland A's, don't they?
Again, for the Denver Nuggets, this is a team that you need a superstar if you want to sniff an NBA Finals. You need a LeBron, you need a Kawhi, you need someone.
You need to dump some payroll as well, too.
Yeah.
All right, we do need to take a timeout, move quickly into hour number 2. We're going to be with you about a half hour with our program, so we'll be back right after this.
This is 1480 KRAE Cheyenne.
Also being heard on translator K266CC Cheyenne at 101.1 FM.
It's time for Wyoming Sports Talk today on KRAE. Here are your hosts, Nick and Larry Proetti.
Hour number 2 of Wyoming Sports Talk today. It's being brought to you by Mondello's Pizzeria, 778-6068 for takeout, 1507 Stillwater Avenue, Suite D in the Greenway Commons. First Tier Banks directly across the street, 632-3500, 1508 Stillwater Avenue. They're open Monday through Friday. Lennox Auto Body at 1020 Dunn Avenue, and the Auto Glass and Detail Center at 617 East Pershing Boulevard, both part of the Lennox Enterprises for over a quarter century now. Again, do join Heather and the great staff over there, whether your car's been dinged up or you want it clean from top to bottom, bumper to bumper, 634-6608. B&B Appliance and TV at 714 Central Avenue, your home for Maytag, GE, Frigidaire, and Whirlpool, amongst others. Again, B&B Appliance and TV, where they service what they sell. Service department on site as well. 638-6468. Medicap Pharmacy for all your pharmaceutical needs. Open Monday through Saturday. A convenient drive-through outside. Social distancing inside. Open Monday through Saturday. Chick-fil-A also open Monday through Saturday, 7 in the morning till 10 p.m. 2 convenient drive-throughs, and use the Chick-fil-A mobile curbside app. Right there at Windmill and Del Range, across from Powers Field and Menards. Platte Valley Bank ×2, the original location on Vanda High, and the east side location, corner of College and Pershing, 778-0021 to call about maybe some loan information with the low interest rates being offered. Key of Cheyenne on Nation Way, 775-0123. Do your business online, keyofcheyenne.com. Come on out to the lot on Nation Way. Family-owned, family-operated Key of Cheyenne. And it's scoreboard time, brought to you by Taco John's of Cheyenne. 5 locations: South Greeley Highway, downtown Cary Avenue, Yellowstone Road, Pershing and Ridge, and to the east of us, Delrange and Ridge. At scoreboard time, let's go to Nick.
Well, I want to let folks know coming up this Friday, as it will be week 0, but game number 1 of the 2020 Class 4A regular season, as we will be up in Casper, Wyoming, to see Cheyenne Central take on the defending state champs, Natrona County Mustangs. Cheyenne Central comes into that contest number 4 in the coaches poll. Natrona County is number 3, so looking forward to that. 7 o'clock is a kickoff for that contest coming up this Friday. 6:30-ish pregame show here on 1480 AM, 101.1 FM, 1480KRAE.com, which thankfully is back up live. It took them a while, but again, apologies. That was not our fault. It was our web hosting, at least service, that had issues today, but finally got it figured out. And then also, too, video live streaming as we've done in the past, and we will continue, again, offering that completely free on Periscope via Twitter at Nick Wild Sports and the 1480KRAE YouTube channel, as it will be, again, Cheyenne Central taking on the defending state champs, Natrona County, this Friday, week 0, game 1 of the 2020 regular season. High school football is here. It's finally here in the state of Wyoming. NHL action for tonight, 2 games on the slate. First game in this second round of the East, it will be the New York Islanders taking on the Philadelphia Flyers. That's happening at 5 o'clock on NBC Sports Network out there in Toronto, Ontario. And last but not least, at 7:45 on NBC Sports Network, the Dallas Stars will take on the Colorado Avalanche in Edmonton at Rogers Place. That is a best-of-7 series where Dallas Stars lead it right now 1-0.
Major League Baseball moving to the bottom of the 8th inning. Toronto Blue Jays are leading the Tampa Rays. Score right now, bottom of the 8th, 5-3. Just getting underway, the Marlins and the Nationals at Nats Park. 5 o'clock hour have the Twins at the Indians. Cubs will be at the Tigers. 6 o'clock game. Angels will be in Texas at Arlington to take on the Rangers. Also, the Reds and the Brewers at Miller Park. 6:15. Royals Cardinals I-70 series at Busch. 7 o'clock games will have the Angels and the Astros at Minute Maid. 7:30, Rocks and the Diamondbacks. They'll be at Chase Field in Phoenix, where it's even gotten a degree warmer. It's 110 right now in downtown Phoenix. And we move on to the National Butthead Association. Let's see what's going on. Early in the 4th period, got a barn burner between the Rockets and the Thunder. Rockets lead 96-95. Houston leading that best-of-7, 2-1. The Bucks have defeated the Magic 121-106. Milwaukee with a commanding 3-1 lead in their best-of-7 East first round. East first round game 4 coming up. Miami looking to close out the Indiana Pacers as they lead 3-0. Pacers in the Heat at 4:30 at the ESPN Wide World of Sports Complex in Lake Buena Vista, Florida. Followed up at 7 o'clock by the Lakers and the Trailblazers, where the Lakers have a 2-1 lead in their West first round. Our scoreboard brought to you by Taco John's of Cheyenne.
Taco John's presents the most satisfying burrito ever. Challenge. We challenge you to find a burrito as big on flavor as the new Boss Burrito or Bowl, with over a pound of grilled chicken and cilantro lime rice. And we also challenge you to find it for less than $6. Go ahead. We'll wait. The new $6 Boss Burrito or Bowl from Taco John's. Bigger, bolder, better. Download the Taco John's app today for even more exclusive deals. Crunching.
Got something to say? Then get it off your chest right now. Phone lines are open at 307-514-1071. Make your opinion count and call the show. Wyoming Sports Talk today.
We're back on Wyoming Sports Talk today. I was reading a little note of interest here, if I can find it.
I got one as well,
too.
Go ahead. Just got passed along where we saw, a couple months, or at least when the height of coronavirus, when the shutdowns were happening, the lockdowns across the nation were happening, where teams and, especially colleges were tossing out those replays. University of Wyoming did it as well, too, during the basketball season.
Right.
Looking back to what was happening in the past, recapping or at least re-televising historic games for the Wyoming Cowboys. Well,
how about repeating?
Yeah, again,
it's called a rerun.
It's who cares at this point in time. And again, it looks like with Cowboy football, again, if you've been under a rock for a while, again, Cowboy football here in 2020 in the fall time, It's not happening. But what they're going to do instead is they're going to entertain you folks during what is supposed to be the season schedule, or at least on those Saturdays that they were supposed to have football there in Laramie. Instead, they're going to do some Cowboy football classics. For instance, let's see, September 5th, 2007 game against Virginia. Looking at November 14th, they're going to go and re-show you the Missouri game from last year, because we have not seen that a million times at this point in time. Let's see, November 28th. How about this? You could rewatch the Arizona Bowl where they defeated the lovely Georgia State team from last year. Oh boy! So if you're really desperate, and again on Saturdays, if you really got nothing going on, if you really need a history lesson again about Cowboy football games and want to rewatch them, go right ahead. But other than that, I mean,
it's a good thing they're not showing.
I get what they're doing, but who cares?
Yeah.
That's just me.
I'm glad they're not showing the 1988 Holiday Bowl where they got blown up by Oklahoma State. So
yeah, they're going to show losses.
Yeah.
I think the oldest game, as I'm looking at it, is that 2007 Virginia game happening September 5th. So
right.
Whoop-de-doo, I guess.
Well, and you made a point
to make do where they don't have a season. I guess this is what it is. But it's also too interesting where I saw a note, or at least saw that Army came out with their schedule, as we know that they're going to play football, Navy as well too. Army, for whatever reason, on their schedule here in 2020 still lists that they're playing Air Force. How is that possible? Are we missing something that could Wyoming just play a simple game? Is Air Force just going to play the academies and that's it this season? I mean, what's going on?
The Commanders and Chiefs Cup, yeah. They could play only 2 games.
Is that something that the Mountain West is allowing? Could Wyoming do something like that as well to fill some spots for
probably
teams?
Not.
Again, it was just interesting to see that the Air Force is still on a schedule to play at least the academies, or at least so far it was Army from what I can tell. Just interesting to see how that's playing out.
Well, we haven't heard anything out of Air Force that they're not playing football. We heard the Mountain West, the league itself is out. But again, this is the Commander and Chiefs Cup that they play for. Year in, year out. It's all 3 of academies that are playing football. It's interesting too.
But it's just interesting that even though there's no conference contest happening, that they're still going to participate in that. Mm-hmm. But I'm surprised that other schools here in the Mountain West aren't doing that.
And again, there's no
is it something that they don't want
to
to step on Mountain West at least conference toes or whatever?
Probably. Again, we can sit here
with what 2020
speculate.
is. Who cares at this point in time? I don't think the Mountain West Conference would care if you went and jumped ship for one season to play football if you really wanted to.
I don't think it's going to happen.
It's just bizarre.
Yeah. Well, and the thing is, too,
again, to pass time on Saturdays, this is what you got.
For the 10th time, as I'm trying to say it, you said before we got on the air that we should be talking about Wyoming Cowboy football, and we're not. We're not talking about college football in general.
Won't.
But the thing is, and that also prompted us, too, especially on our pregame show that we have for high school, we used to have a Cowboys, update, and we used to do a Mountain West Conference schedule. A couple of things that are going to be eliminated off our pregame show this year because it's just not happening.
Just makes our jobs that much more easier. At least mine.
Makes going on the air 10 minutes later. I do want to go back to baseball, and it's interesting, too.
Again with the baseball?
Yeah, because it's Hall of Fame, which, you have no clue about. The likes of Dick Allen, Gil Hodges, Tony Oliva, Louis Tiant, and Maury Wills will not be considered this year for Cooperstown induction. As the Baseball Hall of Fame announced today, its board of directors voted unanimously to reschedule this winter's 2 era committee elections due to the pandemic.
Which is something we talked about 2 weeks ago.
The Golden Days candidates, whose primary contributions were from 1950 through 1969, and early baseball pre-1950 era committees are instead to meet in the winter. 2021 electees' enshrinements will be in 2022. And, of course, anybody that is probably pre-1950 is no longer around. I think out of that listing I read here, Dick Allen has passed away. Gil Hodges passed away many years ago. I do believe Tony Oliva's passed away. Louis Tiant is still alive. Maury Will's still alive. But, that usually when you have your ceremony at Cooperstown, they always have 1 or 2 enshrinements that are no longer with us.
But obviously they're not having any enshrinements anytime soon. NBA is not going to. NHL is not going to have it. NFL is not going to at any point in time. Again, it is what it is.
You sound frustrated when you say that. You sound like it's just like.
I'm not frustrated. It's pretty much of. We're talking about stuff that right now it's not surprising. And again, it's tiring at this point of hearing, yes, get this is canceled. That's canceled as well too. It's more so. I'm more looking for where, again, we're hyping up, hey, we're getting ready for high school football here in the state of Wyoming. I'd rather focus on what's happening. Expedition League just got underway, or at least got finished. They had a season. We just got, we saw American Legion Baseball here in the state of Wyoming, softball as well too. We're getting ready for fall sports here in the state of Wyoming. Again, volleyball, football. You're looking at golf already underway, tennis as well too with our high schools throughout the entire state. That's what I'm more interested in at this point in time is that news of what's actually going on, what's happening. Where, again, the cancel, again, for me, it's more so it's tiring. It's almost why I brought up in a mocking way regarding that Cowboy Classic stuff where it's like, who cares? I'd rather focus on what's happening, what's the future, what's actually going on.
It's for the diehard fan. And for
those diehard fans,
every 10 diehard fans, there's I should say for every 10 fans, there might be 2 diehards that really want to watch it.
So for those diehard fans, instead of doing that, how about go out to at least your local high schools and go and support them? Watch.
But also too, you're restricted, Nick. Again, before you start sending everybody out to
a maximum of 1,000 people in these stands. I don't think that we're going to cap outside of the big contest. Again, this Friday at Casper.
Yeah.
I don't think there's going to be 1,000 fans.
There will be a lot of Central fans that can't go.
I don't anticipate that maximum cap of 1,000 and outdoor.
It's going to happen at Cheney Alumni Field.
I don't see it.
Oh, I do.
I think it'll be a good crowd, but I don't think it's going to be something.
I would say here's your places. Here's your places where you are going to be at that 1,000 maximum. Cheney Alumni, definitely Sheridan. Probably out at Thunder Basin.
And again, looking at what we saw last year, Thunder Basin, for the couple games that we were there, they had a good crowd, but it was nothing but I'm just saying, again, those grandstands that are very large out there in Thunder Basin, they were not full.
East will draw that capacity.
But again, those grandstands are not full to the capacity of what you're imagining.
I'm going to the 1,000. That's all the governor has said. 1,000 people. And it's got to,
which again will be.
Jerry Schlapp said it has to be monitored.
Yeah, and again, it will be strictly enforced.
Laramie won't draw 1,000. Rock Springs won't draw 1,000. I already know that. Casper Kelly Walsh won't draw 1,000.
No.
So again, that
Campbell
would be
County probably not.
And South, I don't think South
is probably
going
to struggle. Yeah.
So there's probably half the teams that will. Central will do it. I think Central will draw 1,000.
But I think it's more so a scenario that for high school football here in the state of Wyoming, and again, in any classification, whether it's 4A all the way down to 6-man or 9-man now out there in Pine Bluffs, with Burns as well, too, in Class 2A, you're going to run into some games that are going to hit that 1,000 maximum, at least, capacity, but not all of them that should discourage folks to go out there and go out and watch the Friday Night Lights here in the state of Wyoming, whether you're in Cheyenne, Wyoming, or Jackson Hole, or you're up in Gillette all the way to Pine Bluffs. Again, I think it's more so of don't be discouraged by that maximum capacity number. You should still go out and support. If you want to go out and watch a football game and not watch rehashed history or crap you've already seen before, again, how many times have we seen that Missouri game at this point in time? Who cares? Instead, how about watch what's actually happening now?
Right. Well, and the thing is, too, I don't think we're counted. So the media and support staff that goes up and does the PA.
Yeah, that has not been cleared. But
I don't think.
And again, talking with the at least AD up there in Natrona County, where he's accounted for us. But yeah, it again does not allude that hey, we had a maximum number or we were capped out in that press box. It was pretty much of hey, cool, we'll save you a spot.
Well, and again too, Nick, you look at. You got, let's say, 40 kids on the team. Just throwing that out there.
And again, we now know.
And 2 parents.
We now know that numbers have been capped for teams traveling, or at least the total amount of players on that field has been capped by the Activities Association.
Right.
So we do know that. So that does.
And again, too, with the social distancing, like Coach Gallo said, don't be surprised if you see 2 busloads going up.
I think that's what you're going to have to do.
Wow. And the thing is, too, and I was telling a friend of mine this today, and I don't understand this. I mean, well, I do to a certain degree. But we're worried about COVID-19, and Coach Gallus mentioned in our program where he said, hey, and we're requiring our young men to take their equipment home, wash it every night, and, and again, be hygienic.
Which is something in the past everyone should have already been doing. But.
Yeah, and that's what gets to my point. We want them to be hygienic, but yet we don't let them shower to go home. Think about that.
Mm.
They hop on the bus. I mean, you bring some street clothes, but you haven't showered. They don't let you use the showers. I think, correct me if I'm wrong, Central told us last year they don't even have towels.
With not assuming every school, there might be some out there, but again, for what we know, again, the 3 here in Cheyenne, it's not a requirement outside of, I would assume now. And again, who knows if it's even still a requirement? And again, we'll get more information on that again, or at least when we talk with like Apodac or we talk with any of the administrators throughout these schools. But again,
let's use LCCC basketball. Same thing. What do they do after a basketball game? They put on their
They put on their at least
unless
travel,
we stayed at the hotel.
If they'll put on their travel gear. But again, we've been on those buses where they just go straight to travel gear and then we're on the road for a while.
Right,
with
exactly.
Them without taking a shower.
Without taking a shower. So let's talk about hygienics. If we're going to be in this COVID-19 pandemic scare and realization, then and we were wanting our young men now, football side, take their gear home and clean it, which, if you were playing, I would not have a problem. Every day we'd be throwing it in the washer dryer. Not a problem.
Yeah.
But if you're going to go on the road.
And again, you wipe down the pads with, the
disinfectant,
wipes and all that crap.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, if you go on the road and you don't shower after a game, you just put on your sweats, whatever the case would be. Isn't that defeat, especially going to Casper? That's a 2.5-hour ride. Aren't you defeating the point?
Not necessarily, because again, we're talking about
hygienics.
It's more so our hands and not touching our face and all that kind of good
You've
stuff.
You've been sweating. What are you going to do? You're going to throw some water on in the sink?
I don't know.
No,
I don't have the answer for all this.
I know, but I'm just saying this is what drives me really batty about all this stuff. Is on one hand we want this to be done, but on the other hand we're still doing the old way.
Yeah, instead of going halfway, I get what you're saying of it's pretty much of, hey, if we're going to be very health conscious and hygienic conscious, then yeah, that should be also too part of that requirement of, yes, you should be taking those showers in those locker rooms, being clean overall. Yeah, without a doubt. But
so what, you leave a half hour
again,
later?
The main focus right now, or at least from the CDC, and I would assume going forward into this football, it's pretty much of you're making sure that jerseys are clean, pads are clean, gloves, socks, all that good stuff are clean, hands are clean, don't touch your face is clean. Again, will we see in these players, or again, have they been indicated to now take showers? Who knows? And again, why that has not been a staple, even when I was playing in the mid-2000s, never was required to take a shower. We were never forced to take a shower, and again, that could be I don't know the reason why, though.
No, and I can relate to that.
What was the change from the 70s to mid-2000s to here we are in the 2000s where, again, you showered back then, you don't shower now.
I remember a couple of road trips where it was like 20 miles in high school where we didn't shower either. We were sitting on the bus, took our pads off, and believe me, it's not the fresh, it's not the freshest
air. A lot
air.
of these teams, again, you're playing late nights and you have the long road trip, especially out here in the state of Wyoming. You want to get back home as fast as you can and not waiting on players to shower, clean, towel off, get dressed, blah, blah, blah. Again, no, you want to get the hell out of there and get back home.
Think back to our trip where we were at Sheridan, if I'm not mistaken, with the ladies last time, where we...
Are you talking about the final playoff game?
Yeah, that final playoff game.
Yeah, that was Sheridan.
And what did we do? We stopped and ate halfway.
Yeah.
And then we came home. But yet those ladies basically got done, put on their sweats or their travel gear, and we hopped on a bus. As soon as I was done with our postgame show with former Coach Ortmeyer.
We wanted to get home.
But I understand that.
It's a long trip.
But in the meantime, you mean they don't have the facilities there and again,
they do. Sheridan.
And these young ladies, the flu bug went through that team last year like water.
Yeah.
So again, I'm glad that you saw some of my point. It's just like either we do this all right. We can't do it anymore. We can't.
And who knows?
Who
knows if they are? Who knows if they are?
I don't know. I would hope they do.
We will see. Again, that has not been a topic, or at least a question we've brought up. But again, maybe Coach Apodaca will give us more insight on it. Is that now an added requirement of that cleanliness? Again, Chad Whitworth could give us insight on that. Who knows? It might already be there, but yes, it is. Again, I get the point where if we are that health conscious, that focus on trying to beat this bug and be total hygienic, then yeah, you got to go the full way. You just can't go half of saying, all right, let's clean pads and all that stuff. Well, no, you got to make sure that the person and the pads and the gear is clean altogether.
Aside from the 2 trips in town, which 5 to 10 miles.
Yeah.
Your shortest road trip is to Laramie. That's 45, but that's still about an hour, depending if you're going to eat.
Yeah.
But then the Gillettes of the world. That trip we've made it. That's 4 hours.
Yeah.
Sheridan's 5 hours. Mm-hmm. Casper's 2.5 to 3 hours. And again, it's all dependent on what you do, how you stop. And again, and I would assume too that the young men, young women, when they're doing their athletics, they're washing their hands or at least trying to clean themselves off.
And the teams to spotlight that have those long road trips are Central and East, where again Natrona for Central this weekend. East will be at Thunder Basin. South will be at Casper Kelly Walsh for week 0. But looking at Central's other away games, they'll be at Sheridan. They'll be at Campbell County. So they will have 2 trips up to, or at least they'll have 1 trip up to Gillette. But again, and then also to finish up the season at Laramie for East, at Rock Springs, at Central, at Sheridan, at Campbell County, at Thunder Basin. So East has at least kind of the more brutal road trip.
Rock Springs, 3.5 hours.
South not too bad. Again, Kelly Walsh, Thunder Basin, at East, at Laramie. So they pretty much, as we talked with Coach Gallus, again, their road schedule is not that taxing this year. But East and Central, especially here in COVID-19, we're talking hygienics and all that fun stuff. They got the long road trips where, yes, you're going to be stuck on those buses for long, long time.
Today is August 24th, and this is going to be our last segment here because we're going to wrap it up. Oh, by the way, I just want to remind you. We
should probably take a break and then.
Well, I know, but Golden Age Radio Theater is back, right?
Yeah.
Matt Dillon × Marshall.
I haven't been. I didn't at least.
Gunsmoke.
I was like, what the hell are you even talking about?
That's what Matt Dillon, Marshall Matt Dillon. So Gunsmoke ×2 from 8 until 9, and
Railroad
Hour, 2 programs, right?
Mm-hmm.
Also from 9 until 10.
Didn't get to post any of that. It's on our social media on 1480 KRAE's Facebook
because it was down
page.
Earlier.
Yeah, but again, on at least the Golden Age's web page was not able to update that due to the fact that our web service again finally got our website up about at least about an hour ago. So
I got some Marsa over that today. Hey, real quick. So it's August 24th. 7 days left in the month. 14 days until. 21 days until football season.
That being NFL.
The NFL.
And all indications are that they're going forward.
It's been quiet, though, hasn't it?
Yeah, but all indications so far are again, you got training camps underway, you got practices going underway. It's showing that it's a go.
So far, so good.
So far.
Have we heard what the seating's going to be like in these stadiums?
Who knows? Because, again,
be
you got Jerry Jones from, at least with the Dallas Cowboys, saying, yes, we will have fans and stands, but then I think the Broncos came out and said, yeah, there's going to be no fans in Mile High Stadium. Who knows how this is even going to go? Is it going to be up to those individual teams to decide, hey, Cowboys, when you're at home, yeah, you can allow fans. Denver, okay, if you don't want fans at Mile High, then we won't. You wonder if the NFL is going to just basically do that where kind of on a country level where we're seeing individual states and cities kind of make those decisions. Is that going to be the same of, hey, Cowboys, if you want to go and have fans, go right ahead. Houston, if you want to, go right ahead. The Florida teams, go right ahead. Hey, New York, California, Vegas as well too. If you don't want to do it, then you don't.
Right.
You really wonder, but there has not been anything clear-cut by the NFL saying, here's what you're allowed, here's what you can and can't do. They haven't even indicated. They haven't even indicated that. Football's going on. You'll see the ads on, especially during hockey playoffs on NBC that they're promoting. I do believe Texans and Chiefs is the opening kickoff game. I do believe, or it's Titans Chiefs, but it's
Titans
Chiefs.
And the Broncos on the 14th.
Whatever, it's Chiefs someone at this point in time. But again, that's the first at least NBC game that they've been promoting. There's
Chiefs and Texans on the.
So I was right. So again, but Again, there's no guarantee that's even going to happen right now. There's not been a solid answer saying, yes, that game's going to happen or the NFL season's going to happen right now. Who knows? It's been so very,
it's vague.
We're under a month away, and who knows what the hell's going on right now with the NFL.
I think every day people just wait to see what else is going to happen.
It is a daily thing. It is pretty much a wait one day and see what happens.
All right, we do. Well, here's what real quick here. It says here, asking you shall receive. It says, from limited capacity to no fans at all, teams reveal to NFL Nation their updated plans for attendance at regular season games. So we'll take a break. We'll come back. We'll wrap it up with that, and we'll get you back into the greatest hits of the 50s and 60s right here on 1480 KRAE. Back in a bit. Chick-fil-A at Windmill and Del Range across from Powers Field is a proud sponsor of our high school and LCCC student athletes. Chick-fil-A always offers 2 convenient drive-through lanes to pick up your order if you are on the go. Plus, they have an excellent dining room for the whole family. And remember to order ahead. Use the Chick-fil-A app on your phone. Stop into Chick-fil-A today, open Monday through Saturday, where you can enjoy breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Your home for the real chicken sandwich taste. Chick-fil-A, Windmill and Del Range.
Capital Lumber is number one in Cheyenne. Are you listening? We're all the lumber store you'll ever need.
Since 1966, family-owned and operated Capital Lumber Company has been the stop for all lumber, paint, tools, accessories, remodel and do-it-yourself projects, and so much more. Now, Capital Lumber Company announces the beginning of a tasty relationship with Traeger grills, as they now have in stock several models of Traeger grills, along with pellets and accessories. Capital Lumber Company at 1222 Dunn Avenue in Cheyenne.
Versatility and value come standard with the new 2021 Kia Seltos. AJ Miller here for Kia of Cheyenne, and this small SUV is made to do more for less money. Seltos comes with impressive standard features and available options like all-wheel drive, turbo power, heated front seats, wireless phone charger, 10-inch touchscreen, or Bose premium sound. Stack up Seltos next to the competition. Come by Kia of Cheyenne, call 775-0123, or go to KiaofCheyenne.com, and we'll make it easy.
Install a security camera system. Then go with a name you trust. High West Digital Solutions, a High West energy company. The experienced team at High West Digital Solutions will customize a video security system for you, helping you keep an eye on everything going on inside or outside your home or business. Go to hwds.com or call 307-245-4333. High West Digital Solutions, the best choice, the local choice, the right choice for you.
B&B Appliance and TV has been your locally owned appliance store. Not only do we offer several major brands, we also service what we sell. And we have the largest parts department in Laramie County. Next time you're in a big box store, just ask to see their parts and service department. Then come visit the appliance experts at B&B Appliance and TV, 714 Central Avenue. Best brands, hometown service.
You can actually get something good for your health at a drive-through window. When you order your next prescription from Medicap Pharmacy, call ahead and use our drive-through window. Or you can call for free delivery. You can even log on to Medicap.com and order a prescription refill. Your Medicap pharmacist will call you to make arrangements for pickup or delivery.
Medicap Pharmacy will always make time for you.
Medicap Pharmacy, 1947 Bluegrass Circle, next to Texas Roadhouse in Cheyenne. Or call 635-3712.
We are the key to your cleaning success. The Key People that provides affordable office and professional cleaning services for over 40 years with exceptional customer care. All of our contractors have background checks and are licensed and bonded. We guarantee you a safe and secure service that is tailored to your individual and business needs. The Key People do not impose year-long contracts, and all quotes are free, confidential, and personalized. Call the Key People at 1-800-468-8283. That's 1-800-468-8283.
Do you know what to do if you're stuck on the railroad crossing? Get out of your vehicle. If a train is not approaching, find the blue and white emergency notification system sign on the traffic signs at the crossing. For help, call the number on the sign and give them the crossing number so they know your location and can alert train traffic. Remember, find the blue and white to save your life. For more information, visit oli.org.
Sponsored by the Wyoming Association of Broadcasters, Wyoming Operation Lifesaver, and this station.
Here's the latest weather forecast on 1480 KRAE.
Otherwise, for today, mostly sunny, continued hot, expected daytime high near 92, partly cloudy for tonight with our low down to 58 degrees. Tomorrow, Tuesday, mostly sunny and hot. Once again, we're expecting a daytime high near 92. Isolated showers and thunderstorms to develop in the afternoon. Isolated showers and thunder boomers during the evening before midnight, otherwise partly cloudy or low down to 60. And for Wednesday, mostly sunny, look for a daytime high of 89 degrees.
You bleed brown and gold? So do we. Wyoming Cowboys football and basketball is always front and center on the show. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today, and it's here on AM 1480 KRAE.
Well, some of those NFL questions can be answered right now as of today, Nick. And I'll do the NFC real quick. Tampa Bay still determining what capacity they can operate safely. Saints say no fans. Panthers say no fans. The Falcons had originally planned between 10 to 20,000 fans for the regular season, but that has changed. Don't know what their change is. Vikings have not announced a specific attendance figure for home games. Packers say no for the first two home games. The Bears said no fans will be permitted. The Washington football team, not the Redskins anymore, the Washington football team, no fans. Eagles, no fans. Giants, no fans. Cowboys, as you mentioned, it'll be fewer than 50%, according to Jerry Jones.
Yeah, but he wants fans in. We knew that.
LA Chargers, no fans. Let's see what the LA Raiders.
LA Raiders? How
I mean, the Las Vegas Raiders, no fans. Kansas City.
That's a bit surprising.
Let's see. Kansas City, they had announced they plan to sell tickets for home games. About 16,000 fans in attendance for the season opener against the Texans, as you mentioned. Now they're not sure, maybe 22%. You mentioned the Broncos. There will be no fans at the season opener. Titans home opener against the Jags, no fans. 49ers, they're not sure. Seattle, no fans. Indianapolis will try to get 25%, no more than that. Houston, Texas, no fans. Steelers, limited number of fans. Cleveland, too early to determine. The Bungles, no fans.
Who knows at this point in time?
And the Ravens said that they're not hosting fans at MT Bank Stadium. So I'm just throwing some of those. No fans at MetLife again for the Jets. You can go on and on and on. The Patriots, no fans at Gillette Stadium. So it's going to be, baseball. Yeah, it's been interesting. Football without fans, that could be more like a glorified scrimmage than a game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
it'll be interesting to see.
All right. Well, we got to wrap things up.
Will they put the video boards or the cutouts? Who knows? They could probably have the ambient noise, and they do like what MLB is probably doing. That's probably what the reality is going to be, is those cutouts and, again, the just ambient noises.
Yeah, but the cutouts will be further away. At least the cutouts for baseball are kind of on top of you. You know, because, again, your seating in most stadiums are a little further away. So, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see. All right, we got to wrap things up here. We'll be back at it again tomorrow.
Yeah.
At 3 o'clock, so do join us for Wyoming Sports Talk Days. We gradually inch into this thing. Again, we're kind of handcuffed a little bit with no Cowboy football or collegiate football to talk about. We do have some high school, and maybe we get NFL here in a